massage these traps just a bit. 3, 2, 1. 1. And hello. Welcome to R&R Chiropractic Care. Thank you for choosing our establishment for your chiropractic needs. How can I help you? Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. All right. Well, so you have an ailing Snorlax with you today. Let me just go ahead and get that information punched in. So, okay. And what specifically is the ailment which your Snorlax is currently dealing with? All right, so just a bit of pain. All right, any specific areas where that pain is better or worse? All right, so specifically in the sciatic nerve. Sciatica is a common issue, especially with larger Pokemon like Snorlax, so that's not at all unusual. Very uncomfortable though, so I'm not surprised that you brought it in today. Alright, so we have a Snorlax. What's the age on that Snorlax? Okay. And how long have you been training it? Pokemon battles, contest, sure. Okay. I see. Any vitamins or any other medications, full heals, antidotes that it's currently on? Okay. No, that should be all right. We just have to ask in case we prescribe any kind of medications or any kind of salves or anything like that. We don't want any unintended interactions. Okay. Well, it looks like we have a table opening now, so we should be able to get your Snorlax in immediately. All right. Well, if you can just follow me, we will get your Snorlax taken care of. All right, let's go. All right. Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is just perform a brief physical examination just to make sure that your Snorlax is physically, visually healthy. Of course, if we see any major concerns on the exterior, then we want to treat those first. So I always like to begin by just examining the claws on your Snorlax. It's always a good indicator of good diet. If they have good, sharp, and bright white claws, then that means that they are most likely able to get adequate food and their natural diet of berries and various foliage. Sometimes Snorlax that have blunted or dull claws struggle to get the proper nutrients, so I like to see that your Snorlax's claws look extremely healthy and normal. Alright, we have no damage on the teeth here. Ears look healthy. Let me go ahead and get a bit of just skin tone and blemish inspection done here. Okay. Everything you should be very proud. That's a very healthy creature and looks like its nutrients has been meticulously looked after, so you've done very well. Alright, so that looks good. So since your Snorlax is primarily dealing with a lot of sciatica, I'm going to focus on the spinal cord, and I'm going to work my way from the top of the spinal cord to the bottom, starting in the cervical vertebrae up by the head and neck. Of course, the Snorlax vertebrae are much thicker and shaped more like the lumbar vertebrae in a human skeleton. And those thickness, or the thickness of the vertebrae, stay fairly consistent until you get up to the cervical. And there are only 3 cervical vertebrae in a Snorlax because of the shortness of the neck. So the primary issue is most likely in one of those lumbar vertebrae. So I'm going to start here in the neck, and then we will turn your Snorlax to the prone position for the rest of the spine. I'm just starting with some gentle circulatory motions here. And we're just going to get a nice and gentle flow, blood flow that is, to that neck area before we start our first adjustment. Just going to get a nice motion here. And 3, 2, 1. And perfect. Just going to palpate that out. And 3, 2, 1. And there we are. Just a couple on either side. 3, 2, 1. And nice and gentle. 3, 2, 1. And that's all there is to it. Just a nice and gentle but firm motion. Okay, just a bit more heavy-handed this time. 3, 2, 1. And there we are. 3, 2, 1. And your Snorlax is doing excellent. Just going to palpate that area just to get a bit of stimulation to the skin there in between some of the more aggressive adjustments. And now I'm just going to place a hand gently on this side, and we're just going to 3, 2, 1. And I'm just pressing down on that scapula, that clavicle area, as I press against it. Let's check once more there. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And excellent. That's a lot better. Let's try this side as well. 3, 2, 1. And just a bit of palpations here. It's definitely tense, but I think we are starting to make some progress. Alright, 3, 2, 1. And yes, that's beginning to feel a bit more relaxed. Once more on that side. 3, 2, 1. Let's see once more. This side is definitely more stubborn. I might have to do a double adjustment. 3, 2, 1. And sometimes those can be a bit more abrupt, but very effective. We're just going to massage these traps just a bit. Can be nice and relaxing after adjustment, so we just want to make sure that your Snorlax maintains its relaxation during the entire process. We're going to try this side again. 3, 2, 1. And one more. 3, 2, 1. And nice and gentle. And now we're going to do a ever so slight twisting motion. It can be just a bit more intense, but trust me, it will be extremely beneficial. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. 3, 2, 1, and that's feeling a lot better there. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and flip the Snorlax to the prone position. I'll have to have one of the assistants come in and help me turn the Snorlax, although it does seem to be a smaller version of the species. It's still quite heavy, so we are going to get it flipped over and then we will resume. Okay. Can you help me real quick? Okay. It always requires just a bit of exertion, but we managed. We're going to begin on the back of that cervical area of the spine. Those 3 vertebrae here, we will get a few brief adjustments. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and easy does it. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. One more should do it. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, and now we're just going to work our way down. We're just going to use our thumbs here, and we're going to press downward on those vertebrae. Alright, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're just going to be basically pressing our thumbs on either side of that vertebral column there. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And right down here to the bottom of the spine. 3, 2, 1. That's where the primary issue with sciatica occurs, when those lumbar vertebrae, like the one I just adjusted, when it becomes inflamed with activity or any type of injury, it can compress and cause a bit of swelling that compresses on the nerve there. That sciatic nerve that goes out the side of the hip and down the leg becomes pinched and irritated, which causes that sciatica pain. Which leg? Right, so that right leg sciatica pain is what's really being inflamed, so we can work a bit more on that side, right here on the back of the hip. Alright, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Getting some movement in those joints and lumbar or vertebral right side because we don't want to ignore that area. 3, 2, 1. While sciatica in both legs simultaneously is not common and oftentimes is cause for a bit more concern, it still can occur. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Alright, now we're just going to check that spinal cord area and make sure there's no spots of stubborn inflammation like that spot right there. 3, 2, 1. I think we do have another stubborn spot. Might require a double adjustment. 3, 2, 1. And just nice and easy. That's feeling a lot more relaxed. Okay, so we're just going to just get a bit of relaxing relief on that spine and just kind of smooth out those muscles there to ensure that your Snorlax is feeling much more at ease after the adjustments. Okay, so now we're just going to get some brief scapula stretches. That can really help alleviate a lot of tension as the scapula begin to pull forward through, reaching motions or poor posture. It causes tension on that upper back, which then pulls, you guessed it, on the vertebrae. So we like to make sure that we do maintain some stretches here and some flexibility. We'll get just a few adjustments there. So I'm going to just place a hand on the back of that scapula right there. We are at the base, and we're just going to stretch, and then 3, 2, 1, and massage it out. While it might look rather uncomfortable, it does feel very nice to briefly extend. 3, 2, 1, past the regular range of motion for brief moments. You don't want to hold that position long, but for these instances it can be quite relieving. There we are. 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. Alright, I think that your Snorlax should be feeling a lot of relief from that sciatica. The neck feels relaxed, tension has melted away from the scapula, and the hips are feeling like they should be operating normally. So let's go ahead and get your Snorlax back into its Pokeball, or following behind you, whichever you would prefer, and we will head up to the front desk to get you on your way. Okay. So, we have completed your Snorlax's treatment. We treated that neck and spine area. Hopefully that relief for that sciatica is enduring. If not, feel free to call our office and we'll try to get you in on one of our express appointments. But we do ask that you try to keep your Snorlax's battles or contest participation to a minimum for at least 2 to 3 weeks. And at that 2-week mark, if the symptoms have shown continual improvement, you can go ahead and start easing into that activity, but try to take it at least 50% exertion rate through that 3rd week until you're feeling at, or Snorlax is feeling at full strength. We are going to send out a prescription for some of that muscle relief ointment there. You can just apply it once to twice daily as needed to that lower back area. Alright, and you can pick that up at the local Pokemart here in R&R City. So if you don't have any further questions, it was wonderful meeting you, and I look forward to hearing good news about your Snorlax moving forward. Alright, you have a great rest of your evening, and please take care. Okay.